Hi, I'm Dr. Chuck Kennedy. Welcome to Project Psi Lab. Many times people ask me, so what goes on at the Project Psi Lab? Well, I thought I'd show you for yourself so you can see. This is where we do a lot of the neural research over here. I do a lot of hypnosis. I do hypnosis for paranormal stuff, spirit releasement therapy, past life regression. But I also do a lot of therapy for just the regular hypnosis things like anxiety, phobias, or even weight loss and smoking cessation. So we get people to change their lives through hypnosis. I do a lot for anxiety. I do a lot of, I have a couple of psychiatrists and a mental health center that refers patients that were diagnosed schizophrenic, but in reality they're just plain old, they have a spirit attachment, and I do spirit releasement therapy and they go off their medications and on with their life. But the other thing that we started Project Psi for was this aspect here. This is where I will sit there and do a 16-lead EEG brain mapping neural pathways of people who are mediums or psychic. And we've identified the part of the brain that has psychic activity using this equipment. I monitor over 400 biometrics while I'm doing a session, and we've made some amazing breakthroughs in the biological aspects of mediumship. This is pretty much what the screen looks like when I'm doing an EEG or a brain mapping. Each one of these lines is a different part of the brain. The bottom two lines are cardiac cycles, and this way I can sit there and tell what's going on in the brain when a medium or a psychic is having a psychic event. Now, the other thing that we do here at Project Psi that's really kind of spectacular, it started out as an experiment, and then we quickly switched it over to a public service, and that is our missing person situation. We have mediums and we have forensic remote viewers who have studied the fever program, and we sit there and can find missing persons. In the last 20 months, we've brought home 22 missing persons. Granted, some of them we didn't bring them home alive, but we still provided closure for those families who were looking for their missing loved ones. But in terms of abductions, we have a 91.3% success rate, which the entire team is just incredibly proud of. We've changed people's lives. We brought home missing kids. Just a week and a half ago, we brought home a missing 13-year-old down in Texas. And she was kidnapped, she was put in human trafficking, and it turned out that she was being pimped out of a bar. 13 years old, and her pimp was selling her 20 times a day. And we were able to identify where she was. We got the Texas Rangers involved, and presto, a day later she's home again. And that's a pretty amazing feeling. Now, when we have a missing person case, one of the things that we do is we get it on out to the team members, and they start reviewing the data, and then I talk to them, take the data, and this is the matrix that I've created, and I enter the data into the matrix, and by entering it into the matrix, I can then sit there and create a profile that we can alert authorities. Now, that often helps just telling them where the person is, but in a lot of cases, the mediums will actually, they will literally see the abductor. And when they can visualize the abductor, we then use sketch artist software like this that we can then sit there and create an actual picture that we can then email or fax to the authorities. And we've broken open several cases by being able to email the pictures. We had a cold case out in California. It was a murder, but we were able to identify who the perpetrator was, who the killer was. And we sent the police a picture, and I called the police and said, I just emailed you a picture. This is the guy we believe killed the girl. The police go, oh, I know exactly who that is. And so they were then able to refocus all their attention on the guy that we identified, and sure enough, they were able to make an arrest. So we do a lot of things here at Project Psi. Also, this is the room where, for the people locally in the St. Charles, Chicago area, this is where we meet for the Ghost of the Fox walking ghost tour. When I do a brain mapping, it costs me about $25 per person to do a brain mapping. But I don't charge for it. And the reason for that is the people just, they can't necessarily afford it, or those that can, some don't. And I don't think it's fair to sit there and try to judge, oh, you can afford it, so you pay, you can't afford it, whatever. So I don't charge for brain mappings, but the costs add up. I also have costs for the missing person cases and costs for the other events. And all of this equipment costs a little bit. And I don't charge for my hypnosis. So the thing is, when I need to make some money somehow to finance these things, so I do a walking ghost tour of St. Charles. St. Charles has phenomenal history. And I charge for the walking ghost tour. They're on Friday and Saturday nights. It's called Ghosts of the Fox. You can go to ghostofthefox.com. And we've got tours scheduled all through the end of the year. And just give me a call and reserve your spot. The tours are a lot of fun. The history is amazing. We've got cases that involve Underground Railroad. We've got a pizza parlor in downtown St. Charles that was the first medical school in Illinois. It was built in 1836, and in 1870 it became a medical school. Well, at that time, medical schools didn't have access to cadavers, so they had to go out and steal their own. And that led to the St. Charles riots of 1872. So there's all kinds of phenomenal history. And if you've never been in a haunted house, come on out to the Project Psi headquarters. Come on out to Ghost of the Fox. This building was built 130 years ago, and I've got 3 spirits here, and I've got the evidence to support it. So, thanks for watching. Have a very, very peaceful day. God bless.